Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to another live session, well, a virtual coffee with Lizelle and myself. I'm Romany Thresher, and my colleague is Lizelle. We're still trying to sort out her internet connection problem. You know, there's so many different issues that can contribute to having internet situations. So just bear with us. We are working on it, and we're going to be resolving it fairly shortly, hopefully. But in the meantime, hopefully you can hear Lizelle and see Lizelle. And because Lizelle has got some great stuff to share. So hi there, Lizelle. How are you?
Hi, Romany. Thank you. Sorry, there was a little bit of distraction my side. I didn't mean to be rude. It's just as they're trying to help me get my systems to perform better, but I think it's all in vain. So, cheers to technology for me today.
Cheers. I'm drinking tonic water. I think this is today on my.
No, Romany, I believe you. Thousands might not, but I believe you. That's definitely tonic water.
So yeah, the joys of technology. Yes, so it's all brings. You've got to have the leads and the computer and the internet. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to sort it out. We should be having a guest joining us today. We're just waiting to see if they can connect. But in the meantime, as we said last week, we were going to discuss a topic. I'm just trying to see how I can do this now. I just disabled it. So today's topic, to introduce our guest, is about the mindset. There was an interesting question that was posted on Facebook that I just feel we should share with everyone today. And the question is, we mistakenly try to change the poor to overcome poverty when change among the rich is what's required. So I'm going to just leave that for you to ponder on for a few seconds. Come and say hello. Let us know if you're around, what it's like wherever you are in the world. Give us a shout out, say hello, share this with anyone who you think might benefit from this conversation. And yes, we mistakenly try to change the poor to overcome poverty when the change among the rich is what's required. What are your thoughts on that? And I'm going to pick Lizelle's brain in a few moments.
I can see that, yes. I saw that pic coming my way there. You know, I think it's a very good topic of discussion and something that I often talk about actually at forums. Some forums that I'm on is it's attitude and mindset. And I know it sounds like such cliches, and everybody always goes, "Oh, if you have a positive mindset, you know what? A positive mindset is not going to make you rich. It's not going to do anything other than, in the beginning, just make you feel better. But it's not going to solve your problems, you know. But it's the process that goes with those words of being positive and having a good attitude, and that because even when we recruit for staff, then people ask me, well, you know, what are the requirements? And then I would say, you know what? Give me someone with a good attitude and I can teach them some skills. Okay, maybe technical things are a different story, but attitude goes a really long way, and a person's mindset, almost like that what you just showed us now, is actually about mindset. You can be the victim always if you really want to be, but you can sometimes try to not be the victim and see how that works out for you. Doesn't mean it's going to change your circumstances, maybe, but it might open your mind for opportunities and for things that you didn't notice before because you were so stuck in this negative place or in this dreadful, horrible circumstances that you live in, that you are blind to the opportunities because you're just stuck there. So I think that's what that means to me. You know, like just change your viewpoint, look at things in a different light.
You know, I have to agree there with you because having come from, you know, a lot of people think that just because you are a certain person or you're privileged or whatever, that you don't have traumas and don't have problems in your life. I mean, I was a very sensitive child, and so I grew up with a lot of people bullying me and all sorts of stuff along the way. And yes, it did damage. And I could either have continued in that mindset and allow it to get to me. And yes, today I still have those demons that I have to fight with every single day of my life. But you know what? I've overcome a lot of stuff. And I do agree with you. It is about the mindset, because there are times, and you know, you're so right in what you say there. There was a time where I just went into a deep, dark hole. You know, one of those holes where you feel like you want to just give up and stuff. And then, you know, you're sitting there and every day goes by, and before you know it, a month's gone by and you're still wallowing in your own stuff. And you know, when you look back and I look back and I reflect on those times, there were opportunities that opened up, that were doorways, like the doors were there, but I didn't open those doors. And so those opportunities never came my way because I didn't open the door. So I do agree that mindset is definitely part of that. So we're going to ask Mr. Kudzai to come and join us, because I see he's just popped in, and hopefully he can hear us and he can give us his take on what he feels about the question in relation to mindset and should the rich change, because you know the rich have a certain kind of mindset. It doesn't mean to say that they're just hoarders and they're trying to keep things. They just have a very different mindset, and the mindset is about generating business, generating jobs, creating stuff, making things happen. That is normally, in my experience, the wealth mindset, is that their whole focus and goal is to, yes, make money, but yes, to create jobs, and yes, to make things better. And so, yes, and with them as well, they are very disciplined. They wake up at a certain time in the morning, often very early, between 4 and 5, because that's when the quiet time is. That's where they get no interruptions. They meditate every day. They go and read the newspaper every day. They educate themselves in money. They educate themselves in very many different areas. And I think a lot of it is very you've got to be self-disciplined if you want change. I mean, that's for me. I'm very self-taught, self-educated. I have school. I didn't have much else because, you know, my days, women's place were in the home. So, you know, we had to just raise children. So, you know, education wasn't a privilege for me. It was so I had to educate myself, and I had to do things for myself. And I think a lot of us find ourselves in very much the same boat, no matter where you are in the world. So let's invite Mr. Kudzai, add him to the stream. Hello. How are you? Nice to meet.
Good. Nice to meet you. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Kudzai.
We can't hear you. You might have to just speak closer to your microphone.
All right. Can you hear me now?
That's better. That's better.
Yeah.
So Lizelle, I'll let you introduce Mr. Kudzai, and then we'll take it from there. What are your thoughts?
So let me introduce Kudzai and tell you that you can see the cup of coffee there behind him. So Kudzai is our coffee guru, and he runs Kudzai Coffee Company. Amongst other things, he also trains young baristas. So he has a formal barista training center. And I think if there's anyone with a good attitude that I've ever met, it is Kudzai. I think maybe if he tells us a little bit about himself and his story, it will become very apparent that attitude is definitely everything. What do you say, Kudzai?
Yeah.
Sorry, just give me a moment. I have to mute you for a second because of the feedback noise. Your microphone, your speakers are too close to your computer maybe. But yes, let's see. What do you say? What is your attitude?
Right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So I do agree with what you were saying, and as for me, I'm coming from a rural background, and it really took me to shift that mindset of the environment that you're coming from. When you want to achieve something, you gotta see it, which is something that I see a lot of people might not see what they want, because that's the only thing you gotta do if you really want to achieve something. You gotta change what you see around you and start to see what you want to get and what you want to achieve. So that was something that I learned in my growth process, coming from a rural area and with very poor results from school. But because I love what I was doing, maybe during the time when I was in a rural environment, I used to go up the mountain, up the hill, and then you start to see beautiful view and all of that. Then you are excited, you're feeling good about it. So I was just using the, whatever which was around to make me feel better, and separating myself from the noise, the noise that was in the environment, what you see, what people are saying, and all of that. And yeah, I do agree that a mindset plays a very big role. And the only way to change it is to focus on yourself. I focus on myself a lot, and being hard on yourself whenever you are, maybe about the places that you spend most of your time with, also have an with in growing and achievement. So that's a very big issue. Even when I'm training, I see that a lot of young people that I meet, they also struggle with that shift of the mindset, because of you are stuck in the background and you don't
Yeah.
see where you're going. You don't see where you're going if you're stuck in the background. So yeah, so I could say that's all I think about the mindset. Hi.
Yes, the mindset can be very difficult. I'll tell you what, it's like a war of roses, it's like a battle between like good and evil, you know what I mean? It's all, you have to keep on fighting some of those thoughts that just want to get in there and weed within in the mind of your boy, like the kids are talking over there. But yes, I love what you're saying, the vision of your future. I suppose one has to live within the vision of your future. I just want to say hello to our audience there. Thank you for joining us. And Sandra, nice to see you, Sandra. Sandra says we hired our staff because of their attitude, not qualification. It works really well for us. So yes, I agree with that. Attitude is everything. I think you have to be very disciplined. And yeah, when you say you have to change, I think if we keep having to pass the buck, we've got to change the rich's mindset, or we've got to change so and so's mindset before, and it just can't work like that. If you keep going to think about, I've got to change the government's mindset, I can't change the government's mindset. I don't have no control over that whatsoever. I only have control over my mind, over my feelings, over my emotions, and that's what I have control over. So yes, that's my take on it.
I think if you look at our entrepreneurs, I don't know if I should laugh or cry, but you can see Kudzai's got a customer. He's making coffee now. Never mind our show. Just go and see the attitude. He's definitely not missing the opportunity, but he's also looking after his customers. So thank you, Kudzai. You are really a pleasure to work with. I would really like, Romany, if we can, when Kudzai has got a focus with us again, for him to tell us a little bit about his story and how he got to be where he is today. Because it is quite inspiring, and it really does speak a lot to mindset and just persistence. So I think, Kudzai, if you are in a position to talk about that, then I think we'll see him now. Otherwise, I think we need to just keep going
Of course,
and keep the conversation flowing until he can be with us again. It was a bit tricky because for you and me, the mornings were tricky, but for him, the afternoon is his busy time in the shop. And it was just unfortunate,
No, that's fine. I love it. And we've always got something to say anyway. And again, just again, a shout out to our audience. And if you can let us know what your thoughts are about mindset, and do you think it's your responsibility, or do you think it's the responsibility of the rich to change their mindset instead of focusing on the poor's mindset? I think for the majority, my personal view on that is, and I know many people live in very difficult circumstances, very difficult environments. I know this post generally came from educators where they experience young children in previously disadvantaged areas, having to deal with a lot of traumas and a lot of stuff when they go to school and things like that. So I know it's from that mindset and from that heart. But I feel if you're an educator, and I know an enormous amount of responsibility sits on the shoulders of teachers, but if we can encourage children just to think differently, not, we all have to learn to think differently. It's not just a case of one group of people. I think we are all involved in, it's up to you. It's what you put in is what you're going to get out. And in all our situation, in every situation that we go in and that we work in, it's about how do we encourage each other to build each other up, to lift each other up, and to see the world from a different dynamic.
No, absolutely. Different dynamic. Kudzai, we were just talking about you. I don't know if you heard any of that. And I said that if there was ever a good story to tell, you need to tell the audience a little bit about how you got to where you are now.
All
So
right.
over to you.
Yeah. So my story goes like, I think making coffee is one of the things that I have done from 2006 up to right now. Up to the last coffee that so I started off in 2006. I got a job in a hospital. So my job was to sell coffee and tea for the patients and some staff members right there. So that's when I started to see that there was something about coffee, because I saw how much people love coffee even when they are sick. And the response that I was getting from the customers was it was good. The response that I was getting from my service, that's what made me look into it and start to. That's when the passion was triggered right there. So I then got into studying much more about the customer service. How can I do what I was doing better? So when I came here, that was in 2011, my focus was just in coffee shop work. So it was all about coffee shop work and getting better in it and then doing more in it. So my story goes like that from the time I left school, got a job, no college, no what. I couldn't qualify for a college, but I could qualify to buy coffee, so that was good. And, and became passionate about it. So I've been a good barista, one of the best baristas maybe around here in Southern Peninsula.
I vote for
so,
you, Kudzai.
so I've worked with so many coffee shops. Then I realized that I was getting more jobs than most of the people. So I wanted to find out why I was getting more jobs. Was it because of what I was doing, or how I was doing whatever I was doing? Then I discovered my purpose, which is very important. At a very early stage, I was still 17 years. I only said, if I get something, I want to teach somebody how I get it, so that the other person can get it. So because I was getting more jobs, then I said, I think I can also give somebody that skill, the art. I call it the art of getting a job. What am I doing? Why am I getting so much jobs? So that was in 2016 or 15 when I started to train people to get jobs. I was actually
Yeah.
just giving people tips. How can you get a job? And then I started to train baristas from that point. And then I saw myself growing in the training, because that's what I love to do, and teach other people how to achieve their goals, which is part of my purpose. And up to right now, I've trained about 500 baristas here in Cape Town,
Sure.
and they got jobs. They got jobs. So that's what I'm
Wow.
focused on right now. Yeah. So that's the story. It's all about giving. The purpose is just about giving, and being here at Coffee Zone again. The experience is it's so much for me, because I can share the skills with other people, and giving people the coffees, watching people drinking coffee is what I've been doing for the past 8 years and more, so I really like it. So that's a bit of a story about me. Yeah.
Good, good.
Thanks, Kudzai.
And I love what you shared there about your purpose and your passion. It sounds like you absolutely love coffee, which now confirms what Anna Marie also has to share with us, because she says it's not just about the mindset. But you need to love what you do, and I agree. And Eve says, "Wow, what a great story!" So I love that story too, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Thanks.
Something that came to mind while you were chatting is I was listening to, I think it was Jack Cranfield, I can't remember his name, but he says he was talking about Oprah Winfrey. And Oprah Winfrey is one of those people that comes from a very bad traumatic background from growing up. You know, she had an abusive father. I think she was raped a few times, if I'm not mistaken, and she really came out of poverty. And one of the things that he said, what made the difference in her success is belief, is believing in yourself and believing in what it is that you want. And I think that is 95% of the race, is to believe in what you're doing and believe in yourself. And I know from personal experience, there are days where I believe in myself, and there's days when I don't believe in myself. It's like I feel sometimes like I live in what you call it, a parallel universe, because one day I'm on that frequency and then another week I'm on that frequency, you know what I mean? But it's helped me to understand that when I don't believe in myself, I can feel it. I can see how it impacts the life around me. I can see by the stuff that starts happening to me, things will start going wrong. Things will just not be working out. And then as soon as that confidence comes back and I've conquered that demon, so to speak, and I'm confident and I'm ready to go, then I see all the opportunities come my way and the feeling is different. So yes, I think
Yeah.
belief is a very large part of it.
Yeah, I think, as Kudzai was saying, you got to find your passion and your purpose in life, because really, once you understand what your purpose is, and this could be anything, then it just motivates you as well, and it kind of helps you with your outlook on life and your real view, and working in your passion kind of never feels like a job, never feels like you're working, because every day you do great things because you're enjoying it. And then even the bad part of your job, I mean, Kutsu, I don't know what the bad part of your job is. I always only receive the end product of your job, which is delicious coffee. But the bad part of your job becomes so much easier to cope with if you really do what you love doing, and then it's just an easy day. The days are just like, I wake up in the morning and I actually can't wait to come to work. I'm excited to go to work, and I think when I come up the stairs and I look happy, then everybody holds on to their desks, because they always joke. They say, if I come in the morning, then I always move their desks around, so they're going to bolt the furniture down. And I say to them, but you know why I move the furniture around in the office? It's because every time we change something, it's an improvement. Because I always seem to spot another opportunity. And it's not just about the furniture, it's also about the process of thinking, how can I make things better for those that I serve? Because just like the two of you, our industry is all about serving people. We need to give back to the community, or give back to whoever, but we're using our own life purpose and the things that we do best to help other people. Same with you, Romani. Your expertise changes our lives, because being the expert you are, there are things you think of that we don't, because it's your thing, and you do it well. I could never, even if Kudzai trained me, I don't think I can make a cappuccino the way he makes it. You just taste the love.
That's good. That's good. But Lizelle, sometimes I have to wonder, I didn't really know what my purpose was for many, many years. And a lot of the times when you meet someone, or like sports athletes and musicians, and that, it's like they just know that they're meant to be teachers and musicians, and I don't know when they discovered this, but a lot of them discovered this from an early age. And I think there's a lot of people out there that actually don't know what their purpose is. And I think also the education that we receive often limits us. We don't, they say, study to be a doctor, study to be a lawyer, an accountant, but there's a lot of other jobs or options or possibilities out there that I only discovered when I was like in my 40s. I didn't know that philanthropy was a thing. I didn't know that being a philosopher was a thing. You know what I mean? I don't know why I didn't think it, but
Well, we
so,
don't. Yeah.
so I think there are many people out there that are not really too sure what their purpose is, their passion is.
Yeah.
Do you have that situation in your life? Are you in the space in your life where you feel you don't have a passion or a purpose? And if so, let us know, share it with us, because that's what we're here to help and see how we can explore and discover what it is your passion and your purpose is. I mean, it was pretty much doing some of those tests, the Myers-Briggs test and all those other tests, the 16 personalities, the love language test, that helped me discover a little bit more about myself that I actually didn't know. So I'm not sure if you can share from life. We can talk about it next week a little bit more in depth about the purpose. I don't know if that's something you train and teach, Lizelle.
Yeah, we do some, we tap into some of that when we do some vision board tests, vision board workshops and things like that. And I think all of us who do training, even Kudzai, as he mentioned, when you work with people and you're training them, you got to touch on personality styles and attitude and purpose and things like that, because you cannot have a job, build a career, become a business owner and you will never be successful if you don't know who you are. And I think in many of our environments, doesn't matter where you grew up, whether you grew up in the rural areas like Kudzai, whether you grew up in a good old Afrikaans conservative household in South Africa, or wherever it is, there's influences in your life from an early age that kind of shapes you, and often, not always, depending on how you grew up, you will be stuck in that, so you will never understand or realize that there are actually other options available to you, because your mother always said to you, you must do this. So you believe your whole life that this is the way it is, and you never feel confident about the opportunities that actually are available to you. I also like to say to people, when you are bored, when you're doodling, when you're like just in your own space, what is it that you do? Because quite often that thing that you do when you're wasting time is actually the thing you should be doing, because that's kind of your go-to place. So that's probably something that you have a talent for or a passion for, but we don't think about it. I mean, it took me the same as you. It took me quite some time to actually realize that thing that I love doing, I never knew I could turn it into a business. I didn't know such a business existed. And look here, 15 years later, we have a business in my absolute field of fashion. So you have to allow yourself to ask the questions and to make the mistakes. Otherwise, you're never going to find your true purpose. It's when you're holding back because you're too worried about what other people are going to judge you for, and you never speak your mind. I've lost many what I thought was a friend because I'm quite truthful. If you ask my opinion, don't be offended if I give it to you.
You're going to get the fun side of
I
this.
didn't know I had to sugarcoat it, so don't ask me. If you want my false opinion, then say so. Then I'll think up something nice for you. But I think that's the way it is. You need to kind of really find your purpose, your passion, be confident about it, speak up, and just know there are options available to you. I mean, look at Kudzai, look where you are today, hey? Where you came from to what you've achieved is quite remarkable.
Sorry?
No, I was giving you a compliment, but it was now lost.
That's fine. She was just saying that what you've done is quite remarkable, what you've achieved. And a lot of what you said there, Lizelle, resonates with me. And it's so true what you're saying. Our upbringing, really shapes who we become. I mean, there was a time in my life where I probably wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't explore or maybe want
Mm.
more. I didn't want more in life, and
Yeah,
if I didn't fight for that more in my life. So yeah,
absolutely.
that's definitely part of it. Wow, I can't believe where the time has gone. We've already
That
run
was
out of
lovely.
time. Sure. So everybody, let us know what your passions are, what your thoughts are, how you feel. Did life influence you? Did life shape you to who you are today? And yes, share and like and let us know. And thank you, Kudzai, Mr. Kudzai, for joining us. And hopefully one day
Thank
I
you,
will be
Kudzai.
out on the other side of the world and come for a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you,
So,
Kudzai. Enjoy the rest of the day. See you later.
right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Ramani. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye bye.